So welcome back to another episode of Street Switch Photography. Now, as some of you will know, I collect vintage cameras, and I found, if you watched my other video, I found two of these cameras, Zenits, on the market yesterday. Now, I've already done one of them. They were in a bit of a state. I've already gave that one you've just seen a clean. This one's actually finished, and I've done what we call relic it. Now, relicing is basically, or brassing, if you want to put it like that, is making it look even older and like it's been used really, a lot. So that's what I've done to this one. Now this one's in perfect working order now. It didn't fire properly before, but now every single shutter speed actually works, and it's in perfect working order. Now they did come with some Helios lenses, but I've swapped that other lens out for the Industar lens. I think it's called an Industar or an Industria, and basically I think it looks better with the smaller lens on it, because I'll be using this one when I go on holiday with a few rolls of film, and you want a smaller pancake lens on there. It's that's how small it is, just so you can see that. But what I thought I'd show you is the process and what I do with these cameras when I actually get hold of them. Let me just adjust the camera slightly. You can see my dog just up here. Just there, he's fast asleep. Now, what I actually use to clean it up first with is white vinegar. Now, reason I use white vinegar is because it's very mild. It's not going to cause any issues with the camera itself or anything like that. And I use cotton buds. So I'll dip my cotton bud in there, and I'll literally just give it a quick coat over like this, round all the parts, and you'll see how dirty it actually is. And then what I do is I get oil, probably clipper oil or something like that, something along those lines, and go over it again and just do all the parts. I mean, that's pretty gopping. It's got minge fudge all over it. I mean, it's disgusting really. But I'm going to get all of this clean, and I basically just go round every single part of the camera, rubbing it like this. And then when I've done that, I make sure I get all in there. I use the other end just to give it a quick dry off. Now I do get the internal mirror as well. I give that a good clean, and white vinegar is probably the best stuff to use for that with one of these, because it's very gentle. It cleans the mirror absolutely beautifully, in my opinion. Different people do it different ways. I do it like this. This is the way I've always done it. And it's quite satisfying to actually do. And then what I'm going to do is, after I've cleaned it and after I've got it running and checked everything on it, I mean, look at the state of that. Jesus. Yeah, that's pretty gopping, if I want to put it like that. So I'm going to have to go over the whole thing, get it all looking clean, get it all spotless, and we'll go from there. Let me just pause the video and I'll come back when it's clean. So, as I said, I've been over the whole camera. I've made sure everything is clean. The next part I'm going to show you is how I actually clean the internal mirror. Now, the internal mirror on this one doesn't look too bad, but it still needs a good clean. I've been over it with some white vinegar. Not too much. I literally just dip the end in there, and then I go over it with a cotton bud. You can see a little bit of dirt on the end of that cotton bud there. So the white vinegar's loosened everything up. And I literally just go over it very gently with a cotton bud inside like that, making sure I get every single part of the mirror. Now, a clean mirror is going to be no good without having a clean viewfinder, is it? So we're going to have to do the viewfinder as well. That's a little bit easier. Now, I do take lenses to pieces and things like that, and I actually fix lenses and all that sort of stuff. Now, I'm not going to go too mad on this camera because it wasn't too bad. There we go. That's the dirt that's come off the mirror. I'm going to turn it round and go over it again because we want an ultra clean mirror. Just making sure I've got all the dirt off that mirror, so I've got a clear picture of what I'm looking at, as you can see. So now I'm going to turn it round. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get this clean here. Now I just use the other end of the cotton bud, and I literally just do this. Really rub it. This has had white vinegar on it already, and you can see by the end of there, look, that's dirt coming off there. Now, the reason I want to relic these cameras is because I think I personally think they look better when they're like that, because they look used and loved. Now, the way I do that, I will show you in a couple of minutes. Now, I have been over the winders and everything else to make sure everything's firing and nothing's stiff. There was a couple of stiff parts on there. This was stiff. I was turning it and it wasn't going all the way around. But now I've been over it with the clipper oil and with a couple of other bits. It's firing on all cylinders. Perfect. Now, why do I want to relic it? Because people like an older look to their cameras. Now, these cameras are already old, as you can tell by looking at it. I mean, it's a Zenit. But the way I do it is literally a very fine file. Just this. And I only go round the contours of the actual part here. Now, I don't know if this bit is brass, but the way to find out is just to gently rub on top. Yep, that's brass. And I'll gently rub it on top. And I'm not going to go mad on this one because this is a slightly newer camera. So I don't want it to look too relict, if that makes sense. Now, it's called relict or brassed. It's been called that for years. You're going to get dust coming off this. So your best bet is just to get an old lens, screw it in. Now, you're going to dust this off anyway, obviously. And you're going to give it another clean after, because it leaves this black shit absolutely everywhere. But I just want to basically go over it very gently with this file. Now, this is a very, very, very fine sandpaper that's on this nail file, and that's what it is. It's a nail file. And I try and make the lines look quite noticeable. But I only do the edges like this because this is the bit where your fingers touch the most and where it actually looks like you've been holding the camera there and you've been doing certain parts with the camera and everything else. I'll get this bit here as well, only thinly there, because it wouldn't go all the way down there, would it? It wouldn't go all the way down to the sorry if the table's rocking there, I'll lift that up a little bit. And I try and go in small circles just to remove a layer of paint, and it's usually thinner on these corners anyway, if you know what I mean. The paint is always thinner on these parts here, which is where I want to really get the paint off, because that's where it would first wear off, if that makes sense. Again, excuse the wobbling of the camera. Now, as you can see, if I wipe that over with my finger, once I've got this completely done, let's do this last bit here, and then we'll pause and go straight to the bit where it's finished. It's so easy to do this, and people, believe it or not, now whether you believe this or not is entirely up to you, people will pay extra for a relict camera. They do it with guitars, they do it with, you know, record player, anything like that looks older, that's got that nostalgia behind it. You don't want to go over the top with this because it can look fake. See here, I haven't kept any consistency throughout, because if you do that, it's going to look like it's been done, you know, and it just looks shit. Again, just keeping it as little as possible for that relic to look round here. And after I've done that, I always go back over again with the white vinegar. So I'll dunk one of these in it, and I'll just quite literally dab some over it. It's, you know, acidic. It's not overly acidic. Let me just do this. There we go. And then we take some, you can see the black coming off there, and then we take some toilet paper or some kitchen towel, wipe it off, and as you can see, that looks relict. So what I'll do is I'll pause the video. Once I've done it, we'll come back and we'll see how it looks. I'm hoping it's going to look proper cool, because these are going to be shelf pieces and I will be using them as well. So let me just pause the video, and when I'm finished, I'll come back. See you in a minute. So that is the relicing process over. I've actually took quite a lot of paint off, as you can tell. With this, I'm going to need to buy a new file. You can go over it with some 8000 grit, 4000 grit, 8000 grit, and make it really shiny. But what I'll show you is exactly what I've done. Just here. I haven't gone too mad with it, but I have took quite a lot of paint off on the corners here, where your fingers and thumbs would be. Now hopefully over time this won't be quite so shiny. I've done the bottom as well. As you can see, I haven't gone all the way round. But that would be where you hold the camera, if that makes sense. These are the places that you would hold the camera naturally. So at the back here I haven't reliced it that far round, only on that one corner, from where your thumb would do that. All speeds are working. That's so satisfying. I've put the old Helios lens off. I'm going to swap this Helios lens for a different one, but altogether I'm quite pleased with that result. So this will dull, but it will still look old. I've also rubbed some of that TTL off as well. So that's been the relicing process of an old Russian Zenit camera, the TTL version of it. And because of the brass it looks so much nicer, and it will make a nice shelf piece, or it'll make a nice camera to actually use for shooting. I might actually stick a roll of film through it and see what we come up with. This has been Street Switch Photography. If you like this video, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye for now.